Mike. That concludes the first question that we were asking. Question number 2, we'll start with Jeremiah, followed by Patrick, Mike, and then Nick. The question is, what infrastructure issues do you deem a priority, and what needs to be done to fix them? Jeremiah?
As far as infrastructure goes, I guess I'd like to take a look at continuing to improve our water system and take a look at where we think we're losing the most water, because if we can reduce the water loss, there'd be more money for the city to do other things with. And I see we've got a meter replacement program coming up in the next couple of years. I think there's an opportunity there for if we choose the right metering system, we can really benefit our city in terms of reducing water loss and improving the water infrastructure. We also need to make sure we're replacing roads as they need replacing, and while we're doing that, we should go down and replace the things that are underneath them, because it's a lot easier to take care of that when we're doing the road as opposed to fixing a leak and tearing up a nice road, and then nobody likes that. But I think our electric department's doing a good job keeping our electrical utilities upgraded. I would like to see us at least take a look at, I know there's parts of towns that don't currently have gas. Maybe we want to venture into a new area there and start doing gas. I know some municipalities around do that, and they can generate a little revenue and at the same time serve people that aren't currently being reached. So there's something to do.
Thank you to Jeremiah. Next is Patrick, and the question is, what infrastructure issues do you deem a priority, and what needs to be done to fix them? Pat?
I've read the long-range planning of the city, and their infrastructure, they've got it mapped out, and we need to follow that. Always with the mind that, something's going to happen. The quality of water, the bonding issues, all of these things. Our infrastructure, the city is doing a pretty good job, but there's always room for improvement. What exactly? I don't know. That remains to be seen, but I do promise one thing. I'll research it, and I'll come up with a good answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Next for this question will be Mike Wellner. What infrastructure issues do you deem a priority, and what needs to be done to fix them? Mike?
Well, John, being a banker, I think he knows it only takes money. You start talking about infrastructure things, and the city of Madison has done a nice job over the years with their local basic infrastructure things. When you're talking streets, you're talking water, sewer, you're talking electricity. The electrical department is one of the biggest departments for the city. There's a lot of things that they're working on there. Probably if you want to narrow down to just one individual thing, it's obviously the water issue and the quality of water right now. And we have the whole bond issue and everything, the clear well, and all of that's going along, and it's working pretty well. We have to work through that system. It's going to cost money, yes it will, but at the same time, that's what city governments do, is they provide those basic infrastructure things so that we as citizens can enjoy good, clean water. But also, aside from that, is you have other infrastructure things such as telephone, internet, connectivity, broadband connectivities, and you have all of those type of infrastructure things that are also very important, whether that be wireless and some of the regulation that it takes in order for all of that infrastructure to come into place. So there's other things as far as technology that comes along with that as basic, what now is starting to become basic infrastructure needs. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. The final candidate to answer this question will be Nick Abraham. And Nick, what infrastructure issues do you deem a priority, and what needs to be done to fix them?
Well, first off, I don't foresee the city getting into any more private enterprises. We don't provide gas service. I don't foresee that coming down the line. The same with wireless and internet and things like that. They're all privately held companies. And the improvement projects that the Clearwell project is progressing. That, I believe, would be our first priority and needs to be carried through. Following that, the old water tower is approaching 70 years of age. It's deemed on the list of things in need of replacement. There are streets all over town that need to be completely redone, as is going on with the Center Street project now. The Center Street project is about a $1.8 million project. It takes a while to accumulate funding to cover a project like that. The projects that need doing and should certainly be prioritized, but it is a matter of funding and coming up with the funds to progress with, the Clearwell being first, the water tower second, and progressing with streets, with doing complete overhauls as they've been evaluated, and that would be my plan.
Thank you, Nick. And that is the end of question 2. The third question, we will start with Patrick, followed by Mike, Nick, and then Jeremiah. And the question is, what do you feel is the role of a city commissioner outside of the weekly commission meetings? I can repeat it again. What do you feel is the role of the city commissioner outside of the weekly commission meetings? Pat?
The role of a city commissioner, besides the meetings, you're appointed to committees, for say the library or whoever it happens to be. There's a lot of different committees. One of the roles is that you need to attend all of these meetings, or as many as you possibly can attend. You also need to keep an open ear, let people talk to you, keep an open mind. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of concerns. During my campaigning and talking to people, there's a lot of concern. And you got to listen to people and come back to the commission table with these concerns and try to find a resolve. I am not an expert in all areas. I'll be the first to admit it. But I do know how to research. And I'm willing to do that. And it's going to take the time. I have that time. Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Pat. Next will be Mike Waldner. Mike, what do you feel is the role of a city commissioner outside of the weekly commission meetings?
Obviously is to attend other committee meetings, and maybe they're not only directly committee meetings that you're appointed to, but other events and other activities that are happening in the city as well. Being in state government for many years, as well as in private industry, I know and I understand that where the real work happens is in the committees. That's where your workhorses are. A lot of times your committees are made up of citizens in Madison. Those are the ones who should be making the decisions. They're the ones who should be coming up with generating different ideas and trying to encapsulate all of that and then bring that plan up to the city commission meeting proper. So obviously attending those meetings are very critical. And as you're attending those meetings as a liaison is to listen to the citizens who are appointed to those committees or elected to those committees and let them do their job and let them do their thing. One other thing that a city commissioner is ultra critical in doing as well is encouraging and motivating our city employees. I mean, that's one of the things that, who do you think is, well, other than we have a contractor doing parts of it, but when it's snowing, who do you think's out working on those roads? Who do you think is trying to prepare and patch those roads until we can afford to upgrade them and dig them up and completely replace them? And those are the guys that are in the bucket trucks. They're the ones that are up at night trying to fix lights and things when they go out. And so as a commissioner, you have to be able to motivate and encourage those employees as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Nick Abraham will be the next to answer this question. And Nick, what do you feel is the role of a city commissioner outside of the weekly commission meetings?
I would start off with, there are a lot of other committees and various appointments that you're given, that you're handed as when you're elected a commissioner. And you need to try and attend as many of them as are possible. There's a lot of outside of commission time. There's hours a night and emails and phone calls to respond to. I guess my biggest thing that I would try to continue to do is being available to citizens with their individual complaints or concerns about what's going on in the city and how to make things better. The citizens they are the taxpayers. We are responsible to them, and that would be my plan.
Thank you, Nick. Jeremiah will be the final candidate to answer this question. What do you feel is the role of a city commissioner outside of the weekly commission meetings?
I think the biggest role of a commissioner outside of the meetings is to listen to the citizens of Madison and bring input in. I think we're a governing board, and it's our job to choose the direction the city goes, and we can't do it by ourselves. We need to have input from the citizens. But as a part of that, there's several committees we're a part of, so there's also input brought in there.